And today's episode of the week, believe it or not, y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but the episode of the week is not solo leveling. I'm giving it to Orb. Now, I want to preface it by saying this. Solo leveling was fantastic. It was fantastic on every single front. I enjoyed every moment of it, right? But what do I always say? My favorite stuff is stuff that moves me or stuff that like blows my fucking mind. If you can move my heart and my soul, you got me forever. Solo leveling this week was appealing to the eyes, it was appealing to the story, but it left me wanting more when it came to like the mental stimulation side of the world building. They gave me little breadcrumbs that was nice. But the only reason solo leveling is not episode of the week is because Orb delivered like an Emmy, like an Oscar worthy performance. Literally one of the best pieces of fiction I've seen in winter 2025. I would honestly put this up there. This episode of Orb was like an all-time yapping episode. I gotta put this up there with like one of the best yapping episodes of all time. I'm gonna throw in Overlord for best yapping episode. I'm gonna throw in Vinland Saga for best yapping episode. This was right up there with where I have not. It's rare that this happens, but sometimes you hear a story that's so enthralling and there's nothing happening in the background, but you're drawn in so deep. And I feel like that's what happened to me with this episode of Orb this week. Booty, you're wrong, bro. You're wrong. The reason this episode of Orb this week was so fucking fantastic is because you have Noak, who we've been waiting. I've been waiting for him to realize that his daughter is alive and was the leader of the rebellion for like at least 6 or 7 episodes now. But the reveal that he got fucking slapped with was way worse than anything I could have imagined. Bishop D'Antoni put this man Noak in his place with some simple words. Draka, who almost dies to Noak in the streets, makes it into him. Noak is chasing, like, yo, that's a fucking heretic, bro. He catches them. What he doesn't know is that Draka and Tony already had a conversation about heliocentrism and how they plan on selling this book to the world and how they're about to make mad money off of it in an 80-20 split. And Antonio's like, look, as long as you got something that's gonna keep the people busy, entertained, and happy, I'm willing to listen. And she's like, but don't you think this is blasphemous? Is this not against God? And he's like, against God? He's like, you know what? It might be a little bit against God, but let's talk about it. Let's think about it. How do we flip this story? And then he's like, you know what? And he starts talking. He's like, you know what? I think I could sell this to the people. Bam! Right? In comes Noak. He's like, yo, get away from her. That bitch is a heretic. And he's like, this bitch? He's like, that bitch right there. Still didn't realize she's wearing Jolenta's hoodie. And he's like, what makes you think she's a heretic? Heliocentrism, nigga. And Antonio's like, and tell me, what do you know about heliocentrism? He's like, it's blasphemous, son. And he's like, blasphemous how? He's like, your daddy said so. He's like, my daddy's dead. Why is it blasphemous? He's like, it says that God put the heavens and the earth where he put them. And he's like, yeah, and one heliocentrism just prove how God put it. Maybe he's like, maybe we have it all wrong. He's like, everything's just a theory. We actually don't know. What if this is the right theory? Wouldn't it be blasphemous to not have this theory also with the other theories? Why? Why have we decided that this one's evil? And he's like, cause Cause he's like, you want to know secret, buddy? My daddy, your bishop that you love, used to be an astronomer. And he tried to be somebody that he wasn't. He found out he wasn't him, and he's had a grudge on everyone who studies what he studies in this 50-mile radius. And this nigga Noak's like, so are you telling me I'm the only nigga that's fighting against this heliocentrism? And he's like, yes, nigga, just you. An illegal black ops hit squad made by a hating ass former astronomer who just wanted to punish anybody who was studying what he was studying. He's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. The way my mind was fucking blown, my mind was blown with Noak's mind. Because they leave the subtle breadcrumbs that in other places, there's 2 or 3 episodes where it's like, in other places in the world, they study this stuff openly and it's just talked about. But in this specific area where we are, in this specific area of the course of 30 years, one man has managed to suppress this one idea and made us feel like it was happening everywhere. It was fucking a beautiful reveal that it's like you really put you in this seat where you're like, oh my god, the whole world needs to know about heliocentrism. Why does everybody not know about this? We got to get this story out. Only to find out that in this whole story, that it's only in this microcosm of this little ass county with this hating ass bishop where it's a problem. Everywhere else in the world, people are like, "Oh yeah, heliocentrism. Yeah, it's kind of wild, but it's not bad. You should look into it. It actually makes sense if you really think about it. Everywhere else in the world, it's fine. Niggas is talking about it. To find out that you think you're the last bastion of hope for all things good, only to find out you're just a hating ass niggas last like grudge holder or grudge executioner is like your life literally means nothing. And I love that's what they went with. And Tony's like, honestly, in the grand scheme of everything that you followed from my father, it's like because you were an illegal hit squad, because you weren't actually ordained by the church, because we have to bury this underneath, because what he did was basically illegal and not of God itself, we have to pretend like all the shit you did never happened ever in your whole life. You wasted your life and you lost your daughter. I hope it was worth it. You literally watched her die and you didn't even know. You lost your daughter twice as far as I'm concerned and you only knew about one of them. That's insane. And then the crazy part about it is realizing that when D'Antoni, like on this side of things, you realize, oh, D'Antoni's not the bad guy. It's his dad that's the bad guy. That's why he don't like the Inquisitors. It's his dad who's the asshole. That's why he's like, oh man. That's why he don't like Nowak, because he knows Nowak is just his personal hit squad. Fam. Masterpiece. A fucking masterpiece. I don't think I did that episode. I didn't do it justice describing it. But I know a lot of people are not watching Orb. So unless you watch the whole thing, you really don't give a fuck. But I'm telling you, honestly, one of the best pieces of fiction all fucking year. An amazing fucking episode. The culmination of all these years. Yo, niggas was writing the book. Niggas was writing about heliocentrism, tattooing it on niggas' heads, bro. I saw a nigga that got burnt at the... He poisoned himself so he didn't have to burn at the stake. I watched another nigga that was hanging off a bridge give the book to another nigga and then fall to his death into the water. I watched another nigga that got his mouth busted open with a spade. All in like one county because of one hating ass old nigga. Come on, bro. Give it up. I don't know. It's fucking insane. It was beautiful. If you're not watching Orb, please go watch some fucking Orb. You are fucking missing out. It's something everybody should be watching right now, to be honest with you. But I'm done preaching the gospel of Orb to y'all. This has been another...
You wanna go? Oh, right, I'm really fucking shaking, bro.